and welcome to Makeup Chats with Deb and Em. Today we're doing a drugstore makeup tag. I'm sure you've seen several different videos where people talk about their favorites and least favorite drugstore products and brands. And so today we've got 14 different questions and we're going to jump right into them. So our first one is, if you could only use one drugstore brand, what would it be?
I would say L'Oreal. And I think Devin agrees with me on this. L'Oreal has some of the best products across the board, from the best mascaras to great eyeshadow formulas to great concealers, foundations, primers, blushes, the whole thing. So if I had to only choose one brand, I would go with L'Oreal.
Yes, I think it has the best overall, to where I can find something from each makeup category that I could use and wear every single day. So that's definitely my all-time favorite.
What is the most underrated drugstore and affordable brand?
So we talked about it and we decided that BH Cosmetics is one of the most underrated. You don't hear as much about them, but they do really have great products, great eyeshadows, and it's a really great price, especially compared to the high-end and other drugstore prices.
Mm-hmm.
So question number 3, what's the most overrated drugstore makeup brand?
I don't have anything from it, but it's Morphe. I just don't think they're as high quality as they claim to be. And I just overall think that people hype them up a little too much.
Yeah. And I think that honestly started from YouTube with all of the Morphe codes and Morphe brushes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like YouTube started the hype for them. So, all right. Number 4, Emily.
So what is the favorite drugstore product under $5?
All right. So we each have an answer for this one. And mine is my go-to Essence Lash Princess Mascara. I just love this mascara. It's only $5. And since I repurchase mascara so often, this is definitely what I want to be my cheapest makeup product. Whereas an eyeshadow palette, I might spend more because it'll last a long time. Whereas the mascara, I like to throw out 3 to 6 months. Really just when I feel like it starts to get gross, I just toss it. So.
And from the same brand, Essence, their Pure Nude highlighter is my favorite highlighter of all time. I wear it daily. I've used it daily for years. I honestly don't remember how much it is because I have not repurchased it in probably 2 years or more. So I've never actually gone through the first one. The only reason I repurchased it is because I thought I lost it and then I found it again in another makeup bag. So that's the only reason I've repurchased it in the last few years, but this one has lasted me forever and I'm still going.
Awesome. So number 5 is, what is a hidden gem from the drugstore that no one talks about?
So in my opinion, it's the L'Oreal Visible Lifts Luminous Serum Tint. So it is just a shimmery, not even really shimmery, just luminous tinted primer. If you've ever used the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter, it's a very similar product. I really like it underneath my makeup and I would definitely recommend, but I feel like no one talks about this.
Awesome. And mine is the Milani Conceal and Perfect Concealer. I mean, I know there's lots of great concealers, but this is my all-time favorite. I tried so many different drugstore concealers and just none of them worked well for me, to where it gave me more full coverage, but also hydrating, because I don't want a dry formula. Like, I find Tarte Shape Tape is a little too dry for me, and then others would be too hydrating and not full coverage, and it would be just too sheer for my under eyes. So that's mine.
So question 6 is, what's your favorite drugstore foundation?
All right, so mine is the L'Oreal 24-Hour Wear Infallible. I love this foundation. It goes on very nicely. It's full enough coverage to where it covers everything up, but also isn't too thick and cakey. And I absolutely love this one. I've tried several of the L'Oreal's and other drugstore foundations, and just none of them seem to work as good as this one and last like this one does.
If I had to choose one, I would choose the Maybelline BB cream. I know it's total opposite end of the spectrum from the high coverage. It has very low coverage, but I really like the finish it gives on my skin. I personally do mix it with the CoverGirl BB cream just because I like the matte finish on this versus the dewier finish on this. The two of them combined last all day and make my skin look wonderful. But if I had to choose one, I would just choose this because I really like the way it looks.
All right, awesome. And number 7, what products do you tend to buy more at the drugstore versus high end? So mine, I'll go with, is mascara, because I don't want to spend $20 every 3 months. And
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
Mine is lip products across the board. I will buy lip products from the drugstore more so than I will high end. I don't like paying a lot for lip products when I know the drugstore has just as good, if not better quality a lot of times than a lot of the high end lip products. And you can get more shades, which not that you should have to buy more shades, but I like that I can get in a variety of shades in the same finish without breaking the bank.
yeah, and you can get 2 lip products for the same as one, if not more. Because if high end is typically like a $20 product, whereas drugstores at around $10 each. So
Yep.
you can get 2 for the price of one. So that's always a plus.
The next question, question 8, is what drugstore brand do you think is overpriced? So I would say Pixie, personally.
Yes, Pixie was we talked about it earlier, and I was talking about how their packaging is so pretty and I always want to try more of their products. Then I look at their prices and I'm like, I don't want to spend $18 for a lip product or a highlighter, or it was their cream, it was like a blush stick that looked really fun and I wanted to try. And I was like, but I don't want to spend $18 for it. If it would have been more on like the $12, I feel like that's when I would have bought it. And I feel like that's where drugstores typically at, like 12, 13 for that kind of product or foundations. And so when you go over that by like $5, $6, that's where I tab out.
The next question, question 9, is what's your favorite drugstore dupe?
Okay, so my favorite drugstore dupe is for the Fenty glosses, which I actually have them back here. They're absolutely great glosses and I love them. But the Maybelline Lifter Gloss has several different shades and has the same effect as the Fenty glosses, Fenty Gloss Bombs, I think is what they're technically called. There is a shade called Moon, and it is almost exactly identical to the is it fussy color? Overall, the colors and the effect that it gives is very similar, and I find that the Maybelline ones are a little bit more hydrating because they do have hyaluronic acid in them as well.
Nice. So my favorite dupe is the Revlon Color Stay Cream Shadows, specifically in the shade Caramel, for the shade Marie Antoinette in the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize cream shadows. They're really similar in shade, but they also have a very similar formula. What I love about the Revlon ones is they're a lot cheaper, but also there's a lot more color options. So everyone can find a color that works for them or that they want to use. I love their formula and they last all day.
Awesome. Very good. And Emily loves cream shadows, so that's definitely her go-tos. What question are we on?
We are on number 10. What is the best drugstore eyeshadow formula?
Oh, and we talked about this one and we said ColourPop, because they always have great shadows. They work well. They are affordable and they have like every color imaginable.
And you can, if you don't like a certain color scheme in their eyeshadow palettes, if you like some of the colors but not all of them, they have the easiest ones to actually pop out. If you carefully go around the edge, you can actually pop them out and put them in a magnetic palette a lot easier than other shades. So if you prefer to mix and match and make your own eyeshadow palettes, you can either buy their singles or buy their palettes and rearrange them.
Yes, one of Emily's favorite hobbies. All right, so we are on number 11. What is the worst drugstore eyeshadow formula?
This was a tough one. I would say Morphe though.
Yes. Oh, and we also were saying how Essence isn't very good either. Essence and Morphe are not our favorites, not that great.
I don't have any to show you because I do not have any Morphe or Essence eyeshadows left in my collection, but it just, Morphe doesn't blend well and Essence doesn't have enough pigment for me. The next one is drugstore brand you used to love but aren't crazy about anymore.
And that one we said NYX, because when I first got into makeup, I was all about NYX. And so many NYX products. And now I still love their glosses, the butter glosses. I have a couple back here. And they're great and they're affordable, especially when they're on sale at Ulta for $3.50, which is like all the time. But overall, just as a brand, I feel like they haven't kept up to the standards that they were before and haven't continued on being as great. And maybe it's just because I discovered more makeup too and more brands and everyone else grew.
Exciting for me recently, or not something that I'm excited about, at least. I know they've come out with a couple different lines, but honestly, the amount that they put out when they do their new releases, they put out so many different new releases, you can't try them all at once. And so it just tends to get to the point where you're like, well, I guess I'll just try it when I get time. And so I just never end up really gravitating towards that section. So number 13, the drugstore product you didn't expect to like, but totally wowed you.
So mine came in, I think, a FabFitFun box. And it is the Winky Lux Unibrow Universal Brow Pencil. And I was like, there's no way this is going to work for everyone. And it probably won't, but it works really well for me. I love it. It has a little triangle tip at the top. And then it has the spoolie on the other end. But I love the color and I love that it's so easy for me to fill in my eyebrows. I like a thicker tip because I don't try to draw little individual hairs. I just am filling in the spaces in between my brows. But yeah, I did not expect to like this because I was like, there's no way it's gonna match me because there's no universal color. That's not a thing, but I absolutely love it and it works great for my brows.
So mine is the Wet n Wild Mega Slim Skinny Tip eyeliner. It's not that I didn't think that it would be okay, but like it's Wet n Wild, so sometimes their products are hit and miss. And I didn't expect it to be as pigmented and as long wearing as it was. And I don't typically wear a lot of eyeliner, but this one, because it's so small, it can make a fine enough line that I can wear it day to day. And I really love the effect.
Yes. Awesome. And our last question of the video. Favorite affordable eyeshadow palette right now? And coincidentally, when we were talking about this, we pulled out the same, well, this is different colors, but the same one. The e.l.f. bite-size palettes are wonderful. They're $3 and they've got several different shade colors and ranges. And I absolutely love this one. It's easy to fit in your purse or on the go, and it has great color selections, and it's $3. So how can you beat that? So I have mine in the rose water shade, but I also have several other colors.
And I have the cream and sugar, and I absolutely love this palette. So we want to hear your answers down below. So if there is, we're going to leave the questions in our comment box as well. So please feel free to answer those questions in the comments below. We want to hear what you guys are liking, what you guys think is overrated or overpriced. We're interested in hearing from you. So leave your comments in the section down below, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.